What's up, you guys? Mighty Mike here. And in today's episode, we're actually going to dive in to a very special referral partner that we have, the Jiu-Jitsu Realtor from Idaho. He has really taken some names over there. So I'm really excited to dive in and see, what he does for that market and how he does it. So let's dive right into it. So the big question is this: how do you find the home of your dreams around the people and places you love in the beautiful city of Orlando, Florida? That is the question, and this show will give you the answer. My name is Mighty Mike, and you are listening to the Mighty Mike Show. Guys, my guest today is a Jiu-Jitsu Realtor from Idaho, and he's baking up some value. He's baking up some goodies and kicking some booties. Ben Egbert provides some fun, seamless, professional real estate experience in Boise, Idaho, and I'm so interested to see how he does it. Ben, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Glad to be here.
You know what? I've been looking forward to this ever since we first connected online, and Idaho we're going to dive into the market there in a sec, but just one of my favorite places, and just that whole area just east of California is all just one of my favorite parts of the country. So thanks for coming on, man. And take a minute, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so like you said, I'm Ben Egbert. I'm a realtor with Realty One Group Professionals here in Boise, Idaho. And, been in the business, grew up around the business, finally listened to mom to get into the business and get my license about 3.5 years ago. Grew up 15 miles from Lake Tahoe. From there, moved to Montana so my wife could finish up her master's in architecture, and then came here. And I've been visiting this area for about 20 years before we decided to settle down here, and absolutely love it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, the real estate game is just wonderful. The opportunity to be able to spend time with people, help them, and get paid decent doing it. It's just one of the best things. So, let's dive into the Idaho market for a second. Like in Florida, let me just preface with saying in Florida, it's just like a constant, some people are saying, oh, it's going to balance out, but it is just, as a matter of fact, now the investors are jumping on board 10 times more than they were, because I help a lot of investors. How is it in Idaho?
It depends what list you read. We're either number one or number two as far as growth, price for houses. Just for an example, we bought our house. We had a new house. We bought it at the end of 2018, paid just under $210, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. Right now, there's nothing in our subdivision under $425.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so huge jump. Yeah, huge jump. So we saw that a lot. In some spots, we've seen an increase in 1 year of 35% value. And there's a few different factors that play into that. But, I always ask people, if you're going to go on vacation, would you go to Guam for a month, or would you go to Hawaii for a day if you had $1,000? And they go, oh, man, I'd go to Guam. And I go, welcome to the Guam of the West Coast.
Yeah.
So all the states around us are more expensive in their metro areas, and we're really building on that tech industry and just bringing in a bigger diversity.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, I know. Keeping up with the market and like what businesses are moving here, what businesses are moving out, who's getting elected, all of these things affect the market pretty dramatically. Do you feel like anything like that has happened recently there in Boise?
Oh, yeah. Some of my referral partners, they're IT recruiters and things like that. And when we first started talking about 3 years ago, if they had an open position, they would have to go to Seattle or the Bay Area to get someone that was first in the tech field to get them the job. Now, Idaho has some different programs where they're teaching coding and they're teaching, these tech type jobs. So we're able to grow our pool here. So that's really nice to see that industry grow.
Yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, anytime you have that and you can kind of connect with those business owners or human resources or relocation departments and stuff like that, it's really helpful for sure. Tell me a little bit about what makes you jump out of bed in the morning.
Being old, I get up early. No.
Me too.
Yeah, I just get excited about life, man. I mean, just being able to wake up and go. You know, my wife, she looks at me, because you're very goal driven. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
So I set my goals, and every morning I have something that I need to accomplish. And the earlier I get up, the faster I can accomplish that, and I just go.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, what's funny is, I follow The Rock and a few other guys like that, that basically getting up in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, nobody else is up, nobody's bothering you, nobody's, pulling for your time. And then about 10 a.m., good luck getting in a workout at 10 a.m., unless you just leave your phone at home. And so I'm with you on that. I'm very goal driven as well. And to me, there's no other way than to, do the next thing, build something, something more. And so I think we wouldn't do the viewers justice if we didn't mention jiu-jitsu. What got you into that?
So you can't really tell from the ears, but I grew up wrestling and just loved that one-on-one sport. And I dabbled a little bit in MMA. And then when we moved to Montana for my wife, I was talking to somebody from church, and he said, well, we have a jiu-jitsu place. Why don't you come try that out? I was like, oh man, I'm going to tear these jiu-jitsu guys up. I walked in there, and it was like I had never grappled a day in my life, and I was hooked. I was hooked. So, just kept following that. And then when we were looking at moving to the Boise area, I was looking, and I lucked out and found someone. He is now a 4th degree in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, runs a phenomenal school, and just cares about his people. And I love it. It's just, it's competitive. And I always try to make the first classes in the morning. After someone's trying to choke you out or break your arms, man, the rest of the day is easy.
I love it. And let me tell you, I've been thinking ever since I started following Jocko Willink, I've been thinking about doing jiu-jitsu. I'm trying to get down to my goal weight, or at least pretty close to it, before I do that. Because I mean, I know they're going to mess me up, some of these really strong dudes, but so I feel like with my son, he's a beast. And I feel like I would just, whenever I wrestle him, I just kind of lay on him and he can't do anything. So you probably have to be a certain weight, right? Is it like wrestling?
No. I mean, and it depends what school. I mean, obviously I've been blessed with going to schools that teach leverage, because there's some monsters in our class. I mean, we've got a guy that, he used to be a professional athlete, and yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, size doesn't necessarily matter. Somebody who's, big, and, I did Taekwondo for a few years, and we had a little tiny guy who was our instructor. And I was like, I always thought, about my first year, I always thought I could take him, I mean, at least, he could probably take me, but if I got him in a chokehold, he's done. That's what I was in my mindset. And so I told him that one time, because he overheard me telling someone else, like, yeah, well, get a chokehold. He said, get me in a chokehold. I got him in a chokehold, and he said, okay, are you ready? Are you ready? And I said, yeah. And I said, yeah, I got it. And I started squeezing, and immediately I felt my feet coming off the ground. This is a little guy. He was a little guy. And I was like, no. And he put me down, and he was like, okay. He's like, want to do it again? Big guy like you'll get hurt. He had an accent. Big guy like you'll get hurt when you fall.
Yeah.
He's like, you get really hurt. So I'm glad you said something. And I was like, okay. Not messing with the master
it is
anymore.
Humbling. No, it's humbling for sure. I mean, we've got guys in the class that are 150 pounds, and they are tearing up guys that are 250 pounds. And they're not using strength, they're using leverage. But I would say don't wait till you hit your goal weight. I mean, there's a group on Facebook. It's I think it's over 40 BJJ. And these are all older guys. And we talk about, how you compete. And the one thing that everybody says that got into it later is, man, I wish I would have done this earlier. But yeah, you get into it and your mind's going to be blown. But I wouldn't wait till you get your target weight. Just hop in. It's fun.
Start learning. Yeah, learn by doing. And that's one of my favorite ways to learn too. It's kind of jumping in and going after it. So, well, you know what? Jiu-jitsu is great. And, I think it's really cool. I always teach other realtors in my office, there's 3, that's like the third pillar, so everybody you do jiu-jitsu with better be buying a house with you, right?
Well, that's the plan.
Right? Yeah, that's your third pillar, right? You got all your prospecting, your buyer, but when it comes to your people, you want to be that guy, that realtor that's there. So good stuff. I love to hear that. Anytime someone's very niche in one of their pillars, it's really cool. So Great. So let's dive into referral partners. So you and I are referral partners. If I get something in Idaho, I'm sending it to you. You send it to me. But what are you looking for? I really want people to understand what they're looking for in a realtor. I know what I look for, but what do you look for in a referral partner?
Yeah. So the biggest thing for me is communication. Obviously, if you have someone that's looking to either buy or sell in the Boise area, man, I want to take care of them just like you would. So I want communication. And sometimes we get into these positions where maybe we don't know the client as well as the referring partner. So I like to go back and say, hey, what makes this person tick? Are there any little things that I can do to help? And it's communication. I mean, we're all in this together. I say that about almost everything. We're all in it together. You want your clients to be well taken care of. I want to take care of your clients. And we either want to get them into a home or sell them a home to move to that next chapter of life. So communication is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, that's good. I love that, being able to communicate. And that's in any industry. When I was in the legal space, we private investigation, we had there was a study that was done, and they interviewed all these paralegals and lawyers and said, what are the issues with private investigators? If you could fix one thing, what would it be? And it was communication. And I've heard that in many other cases. You just don't want to leave your customer wondering, like, did our offer get accepted? It's been a week and I haven't even heard from my realtor. Like, that's not acceptable. And so when it comes to a referral partner, someone who doesn't just take it, go, yeah, I'll give you a referral fee or whatever when the time comes, that's still your customer. So when I send it to you, you're handling my customer. And so that's how I always look at it. And that's why my local customers and investors still come to me and say, hey, Mike, thanks for sending me, let me know about, Ben in Idaho. I need somebody now in Washington, right? I need somebody now over here. And so then we just keep that thing going. We keep helping each other, keep helping the customers, and keep the professionalism really high. And so I love that. I love that answer.
Thanks.
So, yeah. So one of the other things, understanding what to look for. Okay. Well, it looks like we got a question just came in here. Let's see. Put it up on the screen here. I can't seem to get an offer accepted, and I'm not sure if I should fire my realtor. Is there a way to know for sure? What do you think?
All right. So this is going to be interesting to answer, because if you're already signed with a real estate agent, another realtor, we can't come in and give advice because you're under contract with them.
Oh, I think you froze up. Guys, just bear with us here. Or maybe I'm froze up. Let's see. Let's see. Let's bring him back in here. Yeah, he's froze up. So while we wait for him to come back on, you guys, Josh, just to kind of continue on that, oh, here we go. Yeah, it's still loading. It's loading for you, Ben, if you can't hear me. I'm going to send Ben a quick message just to make sure he knows he's not going on and on. Bear with us, folks. So yeah, when it comes to that, you definitely, we can't really give advice as far as like, if you've signed a contract with another realtor, we actually honor that contract. And so what you need to do is have a heart to heart with that realtor and tell them like, hey, I'm thinking about hiring a different realtor. Maybe you want to go within your office. Ben's back.
We're back.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Yeah, no big deal. I was just kind of going on with what you were saying, giving your realtor the chance. Maybe they're new. Maybe because sometimes it's somebody's family member, right, man? I mean, maybe there's someone in their office with more experience, or maybe maybe someone in their office has a listing. So once they start to team up with these other realtors, that's one thing a lot of people don't realize. When you're a realtor, it's almost more important that you have a network of other realtors that know, like, and trust you as well than having a large client list. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Because, so many agents, my mom, she's been in the mortgage industry prior to getting her real estate license for 30 years. So I kind of grew up around that, but just a wealth of knowledge. You ask, well, without giving details, hey, what would you do in this situation? And to kind of come back on Josh's comment, sometimes it's not always a realtor. We've all had those clients in a market like this. Hey, I love that house that's 400,000. I'm going to offer 350.
Yes.
Right?
It's like you can offer it, but I'm not writing it.
I always tell them, I work for you. I'll write it. But, so there's
You're
so
nicer
many
than I am.
well, there's so many things. And sometimes it takes the buyer client looking at why they're getting rejected. And we have the talk, obviously in our consultations, but sometimes they need to get that feedback because, sometimes they think, oh, a real estate agent, all he's going to do is open the door and make a lot of money. They don't know what they're talking about, even though we live and breathe this 24 hours a day. So
it's true. It's true. Like and you're right. As realtors, for a long time, the old school way that it's always been done. I always call it the red and blue because those are kind of the two big brokerages. The old red and blue would say, 6-7% or nothing. And the thing is, when it comes to real estate, yes, we do get paid a lot of money. We do a lot of work. But in this new age, you have to learn and adapt. And that's why I love Realty One Group. While we're on that topic, why did you join Realty One?
So because I'm very social and I like how they deal with people, they do a lot for the community. Obviously, May 1st is the One Cares Day. So, we go out and we take care of the community. We do the last thing we did that I was a part of was we were taking flags that needed to be retired. We have a box right there at the office. If you need to retire a flag in the proper way, we have that. We go out, we sponsor families, during the holidays and get them what they need. We just do a lot. We have the little library. So in subdivisions, we can actually go in and install these books or these libraries, and people can go in and check out, look at a book, put it back, really community oriented. And then the technology is just there. It's just great. I can't say enough stuff about Realty One Group. They're a great fit for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely just, I mean, for example, like I get somebody who has a buyer, a seller. I run into sellers all the time. They're like, I already have a buyer. Can you do some kind of deal for me? Before I couldn't do it with the other brokerage. I couldn't do it. And now I can do a listing for 1%. Do I want to? Not necessarily. If I'm having to put all kinds of work into it. But if it's just you're doing all the work, you've already got the buyer, you just need me to do some paperwork, boom, dude, we'll do. And honestly, in some cases, I would do it for free. So it just depends on what the amount of work that has to be done. And so it's a crazy market right now, and it's really competitive. And I think one thing a lot of investors don't realize, or maybe realtors don't realize, is that it's going to balance out a little over time. And you're going to need to have a network of people who trust you, that saw that you were willing to put in the effort without making a bunch of money sometimes. So good stuff. Well, let's transition. What advice would you have? Let's talk a little bit about investments. What kind of investment deals? I know you got a lot going on there in Boise. It's really going like crazy. What do you look for in an investment deal?
It depends on the investor. So I actually just had one. Are they looking to cash flow every month, or are they looking to hang on to it and get appreciation? So those are two very different things. The great thing about investors is if it pencils, it'll work. There's no emotion. It's okay. I'm running my numbers. Okay, this will work. Yes, let's make an offer at this. So for my investors that are looking to hang on to the property, I would say Idaho is perfect, especially the Boise area. Like I say, we've seen almost 100% growth in the last 3 years for houses. Now that's not going to continue. However, they are building some new subdivisions almost everywhere you look. So as an investor, when politics come into play and they don't know what's going on with 1031s, what's up in the market, they can get a new built home where they may not make a lot of cash flow every month. It'll cover the bills plus maybe a little bit, but they're getting a new furnace. They're getting, new AC. They're getting a new home. So for 5 to 10 years, you're not going to have to worry about a roof, a furnace, anything like that. So we can kind of get an investment, sit on the appreciation, and see what the politics are going to end up being here in the next couple of years for those 1031s. If it's to where the 1031 goes away and you're taxed heavily, now you have a new property that you're able to hang on to without having to put all that money into repairs.
Yeah. That's good. I love that. Yeah. And investors, I love that you said that, because when you get the husband and wife that, they want to live near Disney, for example, or I guess Idaho, they want to live near the potatoes, right? Um, they're just focused on that. They want to live in a certain neighborhood and they have all their criteria. But an investor, it's funny because an investor, you can tell them like, it doesn't matter where it's at. You tell them, look, this is the points. It meets the 1% rule. You just break the numbers down and they see when they're going to get their overall investment back and how much cash flow they're going to get. And it's just like yep, do it, and I do love that, because having a list of investors is powerful. Speaking of which, if you're a qualified investor, meaning you have more than $10,000, you want to start investing in something, go ahead and email me. My email is below there. Definitely here in Orlando. I have just so many people. So I just listed some vacant land and I just emailed it to 800 of my investors. And then, I got like 30 people that emailed me back and said, yeah, I want it, so then it kind of becomes a little bidding war. So if you have properties you're looking to sell, you got to think outside the box. Is that something that you're working on there in Idaho?
Yeah, I mean, our market is moving so fast. It's almost to the point where I can upload a listing to the MLS and I have 10 offers sight unseen. It's like,
Yes.
great. So
Yeah,
we'll see a little bit of a cool down. The market will correct. I don't personally, my crystal ball is broken, but I don't see a crash. Being raised in a real estate family with the mortgages, it's so different now than it was back when it did crash. The people that are getting loans are getting qualified loans, and they're making payments, justified by their income, not stated income.
Right. I mean, realtors and obviously mortgage officers would know this probably better than anybody. I have them on every Monday. You guys come on. I do a Mortgage Monday. It's always some loan officer every single Monday. And I always ask them, are we coming on a crash? And, the thing is funny is, if you just watch that movie, it sounds crazy, but if you watch the movie about the crash, is it called The Crash? I forget what it's called. But it goes into great detail about, the subprime mortgages, I forget what it's called, but the basically stock market. You could buy stock that was betting against shorting the real estate market. And so we don't have any of that. You don't have to worry about it. We don't have any of that. And if you know more than I do about it from what I just said, let me know, because that's what we're doing here. We're trying to educate and help people, investors, home buyers all over the country. So, well, this has been a lot of fun. Ben, is there something that you want to ask me? I always give my guests an opportunity to ask me something.
Yeah. So with you being in Florida, obviously I've lived in the West in mountains. How many gators do you see when you go for like a 10-minute walk?
You know what? When I first moved here, someone said something about a zigzag pattern. They're like, they're it turns out that's a joke. They're joshing you. Apparently, they used to teach that in school, the zigzag pattern, and they did a lot of studies, and turns out it's not true. Because alligators, even though they're fast, they're nowhere near fast as even a child. They'll burst of quickness, and then it's And so anyways, they say the gators, when I drive around, I thought I was going to see gators everywhere, like every pond as I was on the plane, everywhere. I've yet to see a live gator in a pond. I've seen other people post it, but I have not seen it. And I am pretty observant, private investigator. I have not seen one. I've seen them in the wild. We have Gatorland right down the street. It's really cool. Savannah Bone, she's on Instagram. You can check her out. She has gators. She does some crazy stuff with gators. So great question. We're Gatorland here, but you're not going to see gators in the ponds usually.
Okay.
Now, let me actually back that up. If you're not from here and you come here, keep your children away from the ponds because in certain areas, I have heard stuff like that happen. Not to me, or I haven't seen it, but who's to say? Different areas of the swamps, I'm sure there are gators. But I'm in Orlando, so yeah, so they're not going to have a whole lot of that loose. But great question, and I appreciate you coming on, Ben. How can everybody keep up with everything you got going on if someone wants to reach out to you directly there in Idaho?
Sure. So the easiest way is just shoot me a text or a phone call. My number is 208-880-1724. You can visit my website, bensellsidaho.com. Shoot me an email at ben@bensellsidaho.com. And as social as I am, my Facebook, my Instagram, I don't really keep up on that. I'm more of a face-to-face person. 90% of my past clients I see probably every 6 weeks or touch base with them. So easiest way is just touch base through the phone or email.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we're in a new world. And so with social media, it's just kind of taken over. A lot of people spend most of their time staring at their phones. But when it comes to real estate, and when it comes to interacting one-on-one with people, it's still the phone. It's still email. And so I appreciate you, Ben. If there's anything I could do for you, definitely let me know. And guys, Ben is a rock star over there in Idaho. And believe me, if you're trying to buy a home, it is super vital that you have an agent that can negotiate on your behalf. Who better than the Jiu-Jitsu champ himself to negotiate your offer? Hey, Ben, we got to talk about that. That's some great marketing stuff there in Idaho. You should even wear like a jiu-jitsu, like a gi, and go door to door. I'm not kidding, dude. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm a marketer. I'm telling you, you would kill it there in Idaho. I mean, you already are killing it, but good stuff, guys. Take care. Buy some homes from Ben. Sell your home with Ben. And here at the Mighty Mike Show, we buy it right and sell without a fight. How you like my backdrop?
I like it.
Pretty cool, huh? I thought about doing white instead, but it adds this cool gold element. Anyway, guys, we're gonna run. We got to go help some people with houses. All right. Peace. Thank you for watching another episode of the Mighty Mike Show. Tune in Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Leave a comment below and let me know what you would like to hear discussed on the Mighty Mike Show. See you next time. Mighty Mike helps you buy it right and sell without a fight.